Jay Morrison covers the Bengals for The Athletic. He joins us on the program. How would you sum up what has happened here in the last 72 hours or longer than that, Jay?
Traumatic for sure on Monday night. A lot of questions going into yesterday, and then a cloud just lifted yesterday when they got news before their morning walkout that DeMar was communicating. It really lifted the mood of this team. I think there were a lot of guys wondering, should I play? That I think has been there might be some questions in the back of their mind still, but that was huge news, and you could just feel it in the locker room yesterday. A lot of these guys not a lot of these guys, but some of them have personal relationships with DeMar, and you could feel the weight lifted and just the way they were communicating and acting.
Was there anything odd about the play with T. Higgins and DeMar Hamlin?
Not really. It looked like a standard play. Sometimes you see running backs attack like that, and kind of lower to initiate contact. It was a little odd to see a receiver turn up field that hard, but he didn't lead with the crown of his helmet. He was just going in and bracing for what looked like a regular football tackle.
I'm wondering, we got the update from Shams earlier today. The breathing tube is out of DeMar Hamlin, and he started talking to his Buffalo Bills teammates. Mm-hmm. Something like that, how that affects the Bengals. You mentioned that, a sense of relief yesterday, but now you get something like this. It almost, and I don't want to speak for them, but I'm just wondering, does this allow them then to go in with that maybe not on their mind as much as they got to play a football game, an important one against the Ravens?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think there'll be a little bit of trepidation and a little bit of concern in pregame. Once they start the game, it's going to feel like a regular football game. There's only one way you can play this game, so I don't think anybody's going to be tenderfooting it around. And as much as people like to complain, maybe the NFL did the Bengals a favor by putting this coin flip possibility in play. If that wasn't, maybe you see them sleepwalking through this game a little bit because they would have known they already had the division clinched and they would host next week. Now that's not guaranteed. If they lose this game, there's a good chance they're still division champs. They would have to go on the road.
Okay, what do you think the Bengals, how are they going to react to what's going to happen today at noon when the owners vote on this playoff scenario?
I think they're going to be irate. I think they're right now still working the phones, almost like a Survivor TV show tribal council where you're trying to garner enough votes to thwart the outcome. They need eight other owners to join them. You need 9 total no votes to nix this proposal. It's interesting because it doesn't just affect the Bengals. It affects everybody. That you've never seen them change the rules mid-season. Yeah. I mean, we all grew up with that annoying kid that wanted to change the rules in the middle of the game, and now the NFL is trying to do that. And I think even teams that aren't in the playoffs, that aren't affected, might have pause thinking, well, what are they going to do next time? If this sets a precedent that they can change the rules in the middle of the season, maybe this isn't the best way to go.
But also there's that delicate balance, though, Jay, of the PR look or public, the public reaction to this if the Bengals are complaining about this. I know Joe Mixon came out and said, I didn't know we could change, the rules. Yeah. And he's got a point there. But I just wonder, how do the Bengals approach this without that public backlash?
Well, again, because I don't think it just affects them. It does affect them. But, the Chiefs can't be thrilled with this because they if they win Saturday, they're the number 1 seed, and then they still have a possibility of a neutral site for the AFC Championship game. There's a lot at stake here, and I don't think the PR aspect is the camaraderie between Buffalo and Cincinnati has been amazing this week, and it goes back to 2017 when Andy Dalton had that late touchdown pass, put the Bills in the playoffs. The Bills fans donated all this money to Andy's foundation. Andy in turn donates millions of dollars to the Buffalo Children's Cancer Hospital. There's just this great relationship between the fan bases, and I don't think anyone would blame the Bengals for looking out for their best interest in this case. It's not going to hurt Buffalo to do away with this proposal.
Yeah, those are great points there, Jay. When the Bengals started out 2-3, if I would have said, hey, this team is good enough to go to the Super Bowl, here at the end of the year. They're not afraid of anybody. Would you have said that after the first couple of weeks?
I would have said the roster was good enough, but are they going to get it figured out in time? It's funny because at 2-3, that was a loss to the Ravens that put them at 2-3. And the Ravens are the team they play today or on Sunday. And they learned some things in that game. They have totally changed the way they approach red zone after that game. They tried a Philly special down inside the 5 that didn't work, a shovel pass. Those decisions cost them the game. Joe Burrow does not like to go under center. They've changed their running game now, and unless it's goal line or 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, they're running out of the gun ever since that night. It's just I would have thought it was possible, but not likely. But since that game, since 2-3, and they changed some things, they're on a heater. They've won 10 out of 11, 7 in a row, and they absolutely look like a Super Bowl team right now.
How would you sum up Joe Burrow's demeanor?
Calm, cocky. No, I don't want to say cocky. Confident, not quite cocky. He is cocky at times. Reserved. He's not a guy. He is all football. You have to force him to do outside media. So far he's done one commercial. He's not interested in endorsements. He's done one awkward commercial where he smells a pineapple in the aisle of a grocery store. No Cincinnati media member has had a one-on-one with him yet. This is his 3rd season. He does his weekly news conference. He's been accepting of that, but he hasn't been great. Wednesday, after the DeMar thing happened, he was fantastic. His best press conference of the year. He was open, he was honest, and he gave a little peek into his personality, a little more of a peek into his personality that day.
Why do you think he shies away from it? Andrew Luck was like that when he first came in. He didn't do any commercials. RG3 got them all, but Joe certainly exudes that confidence where you would think he would be cashing in off the field as well.
Oh yeah, he would be great. I mean, he has the look, he has the attitude. It's just, I don't think it interests him. He is 100% football. I have no doubt that he leaves the stadium every day, goes home and gets dinner, and he's probably in bed by 9 or 10 and then up early the next morning watching film. It's just, he is 100% football all the time.
Before I let you go, the proximity of the hospital to the stadium in Cincinnati is what? How many miles?
It's 2 miles. It's about a 10-minute drive by car in normal traffic. Obviously, the ambulance would get there much faster, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. It's right up the road near the University of, it's on the University of Cincinnati campus. So it's very close. That's where Ryan Shazier went when he was paralyzed on the field, this same field in a primetime game in 2016. He often credits them with saving his life, saving his career, not saving his career, but saving him and allowing him to be able to resume walking.
Jay, good to talk to you. Thank you for the insights, and good luck this weekend.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
That's Jay Morrison, the Bengals beat writer for The Athletic. Some good stuff there.